Welcome to the exciting new real-life series, Rescue-Clearwater, based right here at your Clearwater Marine Aquarium.
During the next few months, join us as we go on a journey behind the scenes of our inspiring work.
This series is produced by, told by, and featuring your Clearwater Marine Aquarium team.
You'll meet new people and hear new voices every week.
Immerse yourself into the amazing world of marine life rescue.
Get to know the real-life people behind the Dolphin Tale movies.
And experience the life-changing impact on children and wounded soldiers.
As we rescue marine life and the human spirit, are you ready?
Marine life have one intended home, free, uninhibited, and in the wild. An underwater, carefree zone custom made just for them. Unfortunately, it hasn't always worked out that way, giving rise to those who stand on guard for marine life, rescuers.
But our core essence at Clearwater Marine Aquarium is to take these animals that need help, get them well, and get them back in the Gulf of the ocean. That's what we're about.
CMA's beginnings go way, way back. Much further than you think.
Did you know a static fish display was the forerunner for the Clearwater Marine Aquarium? Check it out.
I'm Dr. Hayward Matthews. I'm an oceanographer at St. Petersburg College. I was one of the co-founders of Clearwater Marine Aquarium. Sea-Rama actually started, I think, right after World War II, and it was in the downtown Clearwater Beach Marina building, and they had a series of plaster casts of various types of marine life, and it was open to the public. However, it was really very commonly used in by school groups. From what I can remember, the Sea-Rama basically shut down, number one, because they needed more space there for the harbor master's office, and number two, both Captain and Cricket Harris were getting very, very old and really were not able to continue running the operation. So basically the city came in and boxed up everything, put it in boxes and crates, and stored it in a city warehouse back on the mainland.
Years after Sea-Rama closed down, Dr. Matthews had an idea to start a marine education center, but he needed a building. The city had their own idea.
Then they called us up and said, hey, how about if we give you a sewer plant? I said, oh, what? I said, no, thank you. We don't really need a sewer plant. This place stinks. But then I got to think about it. Went home that night and got to thinking about it. I said, well, wait a minute. So I called them back the next morning. I said, tell you what, we'll take it. And so they already had then a science center, a Pinellas County Science Center. So the idea was to have then basically one up here that was devoted entirely to marine. So that was where I came up with the name then of Clearwater Marine Science Center. And so it was going to be mainly educational.
Dennis Kallenberger, former student of Dr. Matthews, became the very first employee.
My name is Dennis Kallenberger, and I was the first executive director of the Clearwater Marine Aquarium. My vision for this place was to be really a unique, hands-on educational facility. I saw, all the tanks. They were at least empty at that time. They weren't cleaned out or anything, but it was empty. But we had the original floor plan, which I looked at in how we would transform this facility into an educational facility.
Then they went ahead then and went in there and steam cleaned the tanks. Got it all cleaned out.
But in the beginning, it was just a lot of hard work, day-to-day grind, no set hours, but 7 days a week trying to make it happen. We were also able to recycle some of the stuff, and I turned it into working platforms for the first stranding pools. It took years to just kind of get, because you're talking, we got the building in '78, and then I opened up the first classroom in '79, started teaching the first classes the summer of '79.
My name's Abby Stone. I started at Clearwater Marine Aquarium in 1996 as an animal care intern. Back in the day, I don't think this place was known on island estates where we are, grounded.
Yeah, back in the early days, in the mid-90s, there wasn't much staff here at the aquarium, and it was just assumed that if an animal came in, you would stay the extra long hours and help out as much as you could.
Back in the day, our straining team was basically our CEO, or the executive director, the secretary, the accountant, the animal care people. Anybody that worked here was basically on the straining team, and they did the overnight shifts. That's how it worked back then.
There'd just be a handful of people, literally, in the aquarium, and you could just walk up to them and kind of give them their own personal guided tour, whether they wanted you to or not.
Back then, CMA was small and, struggling to stay open. We didn't have the best equipment to take care of the animals.
The primary reason I was hired was to do a turnaround of Clearwater Marine Aquarium. The organization had gotten in trouble over the years, financially and some other ways, some things had happened. Nobody's fault per se, it just happened that way. We're really just a litany of issues, and when I started I knew they were issues, but I didn't realize how significant they were until I actually started here the first day. I started interviewing the staff, finding out all these issues, and I realized this organization really has some major problems, and if we don't move quick, it's likely not going to be here. But what I saw was an organization that had a great mission and some really great people behind it. So you combine a great mission, the work we do here at CMA, with great people who have a great heart, I realized there is something to work with here. So that gave me some energy and excitement to work with.
Presented by Visit St. Pete Clearwater, whose 35 miles of white sand beaches and world-class art scene landed it on the New York Times list of the world's top places to go. Plan your own adventure at liveamplified.com.
Shh. Can you feel it? That vibe. It's here on America's best beaches. Feel it in unique mashups of amazing, crazy, and wow. So within every moment, you live amplified. St. Pete Clearwater, solar powered and radiating 1,000,000 megawatts of possibility. Dive in deeper at liveamplified.com.
Bring some inspiration into your home. Go to seawinter.com and get your authentic Clearwater Marine Aquarium merchandise, handled and shipped directly to you from the real-life Clearwater Marine Aquarium team. Enjoy the same great quality toys, gifts, and clothing items guests take home during their exciting visit to the Clearwater Marine Aquarium. Great gift items, or for yourself. Even better, you'll be helping care for our rescued animals. Thank you for your support of our work.
As I'm sure you saw in the Dolphin Tale movie, CMA hit some rough times, but with a renewed vision and excitement, the CMA mission took off.
After the turnaround was complete and we reversed our fortune as we were going along, then we were able to focus on our great mission. So our 3 R's here are rescue, rehabilitation, and release. The 3 R's at Clearwater Marine Aquarium. Well, immediately we get to the animal and we start taking respirations and we observe the animal. All the while we're on the phone with the stranding coordinator who's on the phone with the veterinarian, and we're explaining to the stranding coordinator what is happening. Meanwhile, back at Clearwater Marine Aquarium, the interns and the people here are gathering the oxygen, the rescue bags, and we're getting the stranding van ready.
The first R
Our goal is to release all animals, and so when they come in and we rehab them, our primary goal is to be able to get them to the ability so they can go back into the wild.
R number 2.
The third R.
Release. Going home.
Today we released Tina. She is a 200-pound loggerhead that we've had in our care since last April. We work very hard to do what we do. A lot of hours, a lot of time, a lot of commitment from everybody.
Pass the poles back to you. Okay? He's coming.
Can you feel it? That vibe. It's here on America's best beaches. Feel it in unique mashups of amazing, crazy and wow. So within every moment, you live amplified. St. Pete Clearwater, solar powered and radiating 1,000,000 megawatts of possibility. Dive in deeper at liveamplified.com.
Sometimes, there's no need to rush home.
Sometimes, the game can wait.
David Yates took over at CMA within weeks of Winter's arrival and led CMA into the Dolphin Tale years.
I realized I need to find something different about CMA that I can talk about and tell the world, really show what our work is. I knew I had to do it very, very quickly, so I'm literally looking for what can I use as a story to tell to attract more donors and more guests and more members and really get the community and to rally around us. I realized there was a young dolphin named Winter that had arrived about the same time I started.
Winter's amazing story began December 2005. Caught in a crab trap line by Cape Canaveral, Florida, she was rescued and brought to us near death. She then began an inspiring road to survival that was against all odds, having lost her tail and learning to swim with a newly developed prosthetic tail.
Winter has a really awesome story. Winter is a survivor and she's very relatable. So, you know, people understand her story because they have their own personal struggles, whatever those struggles may be.
Winter's story of survival and how she refused to give up is a very compelling story that anybody can connect and relate to, and it hit exactly the right time when there was a lot of bad news and people wanted some good news, and Winter's story became a generational story.
Winter has changed the aquarium. It kind of gave it a face, if you will. So people may have been aware that we were there, but they didn't really know the scope of what we did. And I think anytime you have an individual animal that kids can relate to, they're going to gravitate right to that and really helped catapult us right into the spotlight.
Then the Dolphin Tale movies hit. I was talking to a group in New York about the possibility of doing a major motion picture. Why not think about that, right? Why not dream big? And we're having conversations. At that same time, I got a call from some individuals who are now our dear friends at Alcon Entertainment, which is a independent filmmaking studio in Hollywood that partners with Warner Brothers. They'd heard Winter's story on one of our Today Show pieces and called us up and said, we think that'd be a great story for a family film. I happened to agree, and we had conversations, and that led to 4 years of work on the Dolphin Tale project.
So when it started off, I don't think any of us really believed it was actually going to happen, but slowly we started to see some of the stars arrive. Harry and some of the kids came early to get a feel for Winter and the aquarium, and then pretty soon we realized, hey, it's really going to be a real movie at the theaters.
And we realized this is such a great generational story. The perfect platform for a story like this is a major motion picture, and against all odds, it happened.
I can't believe that I got to work on a project, not only with Austin and David and all those awesome actors and a really great crew as well, but we did a project that really is inspiring people. And there's a lot of junk. Have you noticed there's a lot of junk out there? Dolphin Tale 1 and 2 is not that. It's something that can help people. You know, people watch, I mean, David can tell you all about this. It's inspiring people. There's kids all over the world who are seeing Winter's struggles and challenges and how that she overcame it, and now she's, you know, thriving in the aquarium, and that inspires kids who are going through really rough times in their life that they can do it too. If Winter can do it, they can do it.
And then my mom came out in the movie Dolphin Tale.
And so we just watched it, and I just loved it. And I thought I had to meet this dolphin.
Well, I knew that at that point I had had one of my 2 surgeries done, and I thought that would be really cool to go see an animal like that could share an experience like that with me.
She did everything just like how the dolphins can do, and I was very inspired with that. And then, you know, I went back home after that and I did gymnastics and cheerleading, and you know, I was actually really happy that me and her have that bond. And now I've met Winter. I've done more things in my life right now that I'm happy to be doing.
I was born with Charcot-Marie tooth disease, and it's the #1 common hereditary neuropathy in the world. She just gives me inspiration, hope, love, light, smiles, and being here is probably one of the biggest things I've ever done in my life, and I'm 35 years old.
Can you feel it? That vibe. It's here on America's best beaches. Feel it in unique mashups of amazing, crazy, and wow. So within every moment, you live amplified. St. Pete Clearwater, solar powered and radiating 1,000,000 megawatts of possibility. Dive in deeper at liveamplified.com.
Bring some inspiration into your home. Go to seawinter.com and get your authentic Clearwater Marine Aquarium merchandise, handled and shipped directly to you from the real-life Clearwater Marine Aquarium team. Enjoy the same great quality toys, gifts, and clothing items guests take home during their exciting visit to the Clearwater Marine Aquarium. Great gift items, or for yourself. Even better, you'll be helping care for our rescued animals. Thank you for your support of our work.
Sometimes, there's no need to rush home.
Sometimes, the game can wait.
One of CMA's future goals is to utilize the adjacent waterway as a natural habitat for as many of their rescued, non-releasable animals as possible. And wow, the work with children and wounded soldiers is simply amazing to see. Lives changed every day. Hope reborn.
So Winter has had inspiration for countless people around the world, especially Sergeant Russ Merrick. Today, he has a really good life with his family. He comes to all our events. Whenever you ask him about Winter, he just tears up and says, "She saved my life."
My name is U.S. Army Staff Sergeant Russ Merrick. On September 16, 2005, my life changed. I was a tank commander in Iraq. A roadside bomb tore through our tank. 2 of my fellow soldiers died instantly. I was severely injured. I lost my right arm, right leg, and I suffered brain trauma from the impact. I don't remember much from that night. I spent 13 weeks in a coma. The doctors weren't sure I would live. When I woke from the coma, I struggled at life. Many major surgeries, many doctor's visits. I wasn't even sure I wanted to live. So much has changed in my life. I needed inspiration, a role model. Then I met Winter. She changed my life. I was having trouble wearing my prosthetic arm and leg. I saw her struggling to wear hers. She never gave up, and neither did I. I tell people that if Winter can do this, so can I, and so can they. With help from my family, I now live in my own home and encourage other wounded soldiers through their rough times. My family's support helped me through this. Then Winter showed me I could move on.
With your help, we can inspire a generation to become true champions for marine life, free and in the wild where they belong, and in the process bring hope to people in need. Thank you for watching, and look for our next show, Winter's Story.